Welcome back to another episode of LKT Sports Talk. Myself here, Ben. I got Alex again with me today. The two co-hosts you're going to be seeing a lot of. How you doing, Alex?
I'm great, man. Yeah, thanks for having me back. It's going to be a lot of fun chatting tonight, catching up on sort of where our predictions are at and where we're doing well, where we're not so well, but good to recap it and chat about the playoffs. It's been a lot of fun, man. Best time of the year by far.
Absolutely, man. It's been great, man. Playoffs. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Something else you gotta love. A little fun transition here. So as you can see on the screen here, we got the Locker Token app. Again, we are the official sports talk show of the Locker Token ecosystem. So what we're gonna do every episode is we're gonna show you a little bit of a feature, excellent features that we have in this beautiful, beautiful ecosystem. So what I'm going to show you today, Alex and I will give you a little demonstration, is my personal favorite feature of this entire thing. I love this thing. It is fantastic. So as you can tell here, we have our whole wallet. It's been a pretty good day. Got a couple greens on there, not so bad. But the chat feature, this thing for me is so easy to use. One of the biggest annoyances when it comes to crypto wallets is trying to remember long addresses. It's a whole bunch of letters and numbers, and ain't nobody got time for that, right? So what we do to make it super simple for people is, as you can see, we go based off usernames, which is fantastic. So what we can do here, all you got to do is type in a username. So I'm going to go to my main man, Trenchman Alex here. All I can do is there's a whole chat feature. You can just talk about whatever you want. But the best part about it is, you see this little lightning bolt here. There's several things you can do within the app, right? So you can send your address, request payment, send crypto, which is the biggest feature, right? So what we're going to do here is, because I love Alex so much, I'm going to send him one Matic. There you go. So for those that don't know, there's several different types of cryptocurrencies. Matic is one of them. There's the Bitcoins, there's the Ethereums. Matic is one of them as well. You can send any one of them. It's awesome. So quick little confirm that transaction. And Alex is one Matic richer. Beautiful. So what we're going to do here, Alex can show you from his screen. I did it from a PC here, from a computer here. Alex is going to do it from mobile, just as easy.
Yeah, it's really awesome, man. I mean, I can already see it's in my wallet here. I'm in my chat. I got it on my side, popped right up. I'm going to hit the lightning bolt as well. I'm going to send it right back to you because I don't want to take all your money, man. I want you to be able to buy yourself something nice. Maybe buy yourself a drink, something to eat tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to, I got this nice little slide to transfer on my screen, right? I'm just going to slide that over. Oh, there we go. Slide it over and it's going to come right back up onto your screen there.
Perfect. And right back in my wallet. Boom. Super simple. Again, I'm not just saying it because it's what we are, but you know what? Like, we have this kind of motto or whatever, the catchphrase, if you will. Locker Token, the wallet is so easy to use that your grandmother can use it. And this is tested to be true. So check it out. Again, everything's in the bio. You can grab, on iOS, Android. We have a desktop browser as well. Everything you can do on it. It's fantastic. Check it out. Link in bio. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump to what's been going on in these playoffs. Woo, baby. It's been fun. That's for sure. No complaints from me. Couple series that have gone maybe not the way that we were thought it's going to go, myself in particular, but hey, nobody can see the future. If we would, we'd all be millionaires, but that's okay. So first series, Colorado and Seattle. Actually, you know what? First, Alex, is it playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty bang on with a lot of our assessment. I went back and listened to our first episode. Just definitely wanted to sort of check in with exactly what we said, tune it up. But there's definitely been a couple sort of surprises, right? I think McDavid sort of getting held off the score sheet a bit in the early Edmonton series. That was a bit of a surprise. He was kind of contained, but now they've broken out again and sort of taken a bit of a control of that series. Might end it, in this next game here, which would be awesome for them. But it's been what I've expected in the terms of, man, it's the best hockey of the year, Everyone's excited, everyone's pissed off, everyone's, living and dying by every puck drop and shot on net. I'm watching with my sons and the gasp for air from the 7-year-old as Austin's taking a shot and he scores. It's like, it's the best, man. That's why we live and die with this sport. It's once you get to these moments, right? And we're just longing for more of them. That's all we want every year. We just want some more.
It's hard to beat, man. Playoff hockey, playoff sports in general, man. It's hard to beat. It is so tough. Like it's every moment is fantastic, whether it be good or bad for your particular team. It's always great. So we're gonna jump to the Seattle and Colorado series. I'm gonna be honest. It's been going as I expected. Very even, right? Like as we can have it up. We have it up here. Alex took Colorado in 6. I took Seattle in 7. I mean, could go either way still, right? I think they're playing tonight, but at the time of this recording, at least. But I mean, it's been a very, very, very tight series, right? And I'm not even remotely surprised. But what we're gonna do is cover this suspension that just happened from Cale Makar. Now, here's the thing. I was watching that hit, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty bad. It looked so targeted, right? Like, I don't want to compare it to the Bunting hit because, I don't want to sound like a Leaf homer or anything, but you kind of have to, right? Bunting got 3-game suspension for not okay. It wasn't soft, but it definitely wasn't a friggin' 3-game suspension. Now, Makar had this hit that looked deliberate. Like he was out to hurt him. And he gets 1 game. Okay, he's not a repeat offender, but neither is Bunting. Sure, Bunting's a little bit more of a pest, but I mean, hasn't gotten a suspension. So I don't know. Alex, what do you think? Do you think he didn't deserve a suspension? 1 game is enough, or he should have gotten more?
I'm in the same boat that he should have got more. To me, it's definitely not the same type of hit that the Bunting hit was. I almost, classic Leafs fan. There's another one that I can relate it back to, but it's almost to me more like the Kadri on DeBrusque a few years back, because the issue I have with this one is there was absolutely no need and no time to make that hit in that situation. The puck was long gone. Was the puck out of play at this point? He was an ineligible player to be hit, and he crushed him into the boards in a dangerous spot. And I am so the opposite of suspend to the injury, because I just want to see firmer suspend to the plays that are being made. I want to see refs call penalties and Department of Player Safety call suspensions, and call them frequently enough to get players to actually, play this game a little bit safer. Y'all are skating pretty dang fast out there. You're going to get really hurt, especially with the way some of these guys are playing. And they're, Makar, no history. Like you said, Bunting, no history. Mm-hmm. I don't see why this wasn't more than 1 game. I don't get it. Besides star power, I'm glad they gave him something, because honest to God, I could see a world where they gave him nothing. It's ridiculous that I think it was only 1. He only got a 2-minute penalty, right? Bunting got the 5-minute plus 3 games, plus he was out of that game, so it's like 3.5 plus that 5-minute against where they scored. But overall, I'm a little grateful that they got something. He's on the book, so clearly, I don't think that this is a guy that's really. I don't necessarily think he's going to even do it again, right? I think he'll be like, you know what? I did overstep the line. He's going to keep that in his mind. He doesn't want to be this repeat offender. He is this superstar guy. They need him, right? My Colorado in 6 doesn't feel nearly as good without him playing Game 5. You're right. They're about to puck drop right now. We got Boston, Florida going to OT. That's going to be awesome.
Yes, sir. It'll be just in time for us to get to it.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm definitely a little nervous at this point. But Seattle, if they don't get McCann back from this, I don't want it. Again, I'm not suspended to the injury, but if McCann's done for the series, it sort of feels like he should be done for the series, right? And was that, I don't know if that Kadri one was the one where he was suspended for the series, but that kind of ridiculous sort of precedent kind of suspension, it exists. You could have used it here, right? At 1 game, just it seemed weak.
Yeah, it really was because you can look at okay, let's look at that Kadri one. Yeah, that was pretty deliberate. I'd like to say, realistically, don't get me wrong. I love Kadri. All the Leaf fans hate Kadri because he's a hothead, blah, blah, blah. You know what? He's a good player, but he stuck his hip out on that hit and went for a head. That's not right. Bunting, you can look at it. Did he raise his shoulder and elbow? Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. Blah, 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 blah. But that Makar hit, that was intentional. There's no doubt about it. That was intentional. And you're exactly right. You can't base a suspension off an injury, right? I hate when the league does that. It's happened before, right? Several times. And it's just that you don't do it based off that. You do it off the hit because that's what you're suspending them for. It's a violation of the game, not just because the guy got hurt. Now, obviously, I'm not saying, whatever, but it sucks when a guy gets hurt. Of course, been there, done that. Like, it's not fun. But, I mean, you got to do based off the hit. Now, was that hit a one-game suspension worthy? In my opinion, no. I think it should have been at least 2, maybe 3. But, hey, it is what it is. So we'll have to see what happens with that series. We'll see who's right. On the guests here. We're both on kind of the opposite side, but I'm liking Seattle a little bit. They're looking. I think the fuel is going to hit them, but Colorado without Makar, exactly like you said, Colorado in 5 or Colorado in 6 ain't looking so good, right? So we'll see on that one. I'm excited to see the outcome. And then we have another one that surprised the living hell out of I think both of us, but mainly me because I had them in 4. But Dallas and Minnesota. Here's the thing. I said it in the first episode. I love Minnesota. I doubted them, I guess. I very underestimated this team because they're sitting 2-2 or 3-2 after last night. Like it's looking like, Minnesota could potentially maybe sneak away with this one. I'm calling Dallas the favorite for sure, right? Because look at the team. Oh my Lord, shout out Tyler Seguin, Locker Token Ambassador. He's killing it. Right, like the whole Jason Robertson killing it. Like the whole team is just rocking. They're on all cylinders. But Minnesota, they're not backing down. They are really, really not giving up. And they're playing that again boring shutdown hockey that is really neutralizing Dallas's run and gun, fast paced game. Right, so I'm loving this series. So I'm happy that it's this close. I was just saying a sweep. I hope that didn't happen. Thank God it didn't. But I mean, hey, it's been a great series so far. I'm really enjoying it. Alex, what do you think of the series so far?
It's definitely been some real exciting hockey. The game 2, I love that little offensive explosion we saw from Dallas. I think, like you said, Tyler Seguin's been awesome. My man Mason Marchment, he's been unreal. He had a nice goal last game, driving the net after a Tyler Seguin shot, rebound, banged it in. Jake Ottinger, man, he's really the story for me for Dallas. Obviously, we both guessed a little wrong, guessing Dallas and too little. But and like you said, maybe just not giving Minnesota enough credit. I think that game 1, they battled hard. They got that late goal, the goal in OT to win it. But besides that, like I haven't loved their game throughout much of the series. Right? It's only 3-2, but it's felt like Dallas has controlled play for more of the games. Right? I think Dallas is going to wrap it up this next game here. I don't give Minnesota too much of a chance. It's just, again, besides Kaprizov, the team is solidly built. There's just not a lot that screams to me this team, this is the reason they're going to win.
Yeah, and there's not enough to match the firepower of Dallas either. Again, not taking away from Minnesota whatsoever because they are chock full of great players, but Dallas has that super firepower. Fast coast, or fast paced team. It is what they are. They're young and they can go, right? Especially their stars.
Yep.
No pun intended.
No, it's going to be great, man. I think I hope they wrap it up so they can kind of rest up and see a real strong round 2.
Mm-hmm. So, another one we'll have to see what happens. I do think Dallas has the next game, but on to I think we both called this right, but we'll see who gets it right in the end. This Edmonton and LA series has been so much fun. Oh, it's been so much fun. There's been so many overtimes. Now, I'm a big fella, and my heart can't stand overtime too much, right? I love both of these teams. Now, obviously, I love Edmonton because if you don't love McDavid, you don't love hockey. Plain and simple. he's so great to watch. Just excellent player. He needs to win. He needs to win. Right now, there you go. There's the Alex got the jerseys there. You got the McDavid North America jersey.
Yeah, I got it hanging beside me here. I like having the North America out front, but yeah, it's a McDavid. I had to have one in the collection.
Gorgeous. I love it. Beautiful jerseys. But anyways, yeah, like the guy's got to win, right? This Edmonton team needs to win. Now, LA is saying, "Oh, well, wait a minute." I don't think so. They're fighting quite hard. It's 3-2 for Edmonton right now, but I mean, hey, LA could damn well turn this around. They're down 1 game. All they need to do is win 2. Not a big deal. they're shutting down Edmonton so well. All the games have been very tight, except for game 5 was 3-goal deficit. That's the biggest difference, right? 3 of the 5 games have been in overtime. That's how tight these games are. But a quick thing with championships for me, like McDavid could not win a championship for his entire career, and I would still call him the greatest player of all time, because this is the way I look at it. Championships are good, yes, of course. You've reached the peak, but this is the thing: your team has reached the peak. You need a great team to win, right? Look at all the best teams. Let's stick to hockey for this example. Look at all the Chicagos and the Pittsburghs and the Kings, even though they're in the series right now. They've had these ridiculous teams, right? All around team, great forwards, great defense, great goaltending, right? It's a team game, right? The team needs to win. One guy can't make a difference, like something like basketball, for example, right? You look at someone like, a little kind of tangent here, but Tom Brady, right? I don't think he's the great, call me crazy, and hot take if you want. I don't think Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. I truly don't. He only has so many chips because the team he's on is ridiculous. And he also has the greatest coach potentially of all time in any sport. But team effort, right? One guy can lead you, yes, but you need the team to do it, right? So Edmonton needs to win. Everyone besides McDavid needs to step up. My long-winded explanation. Everyone's got to step up, and they're looking like they are. So, Alex, you seeing the same thing, or are you looking at it differently? I know you have LA to win, but how are you looking at it now?
Yeah, I was really thinking that LA would be able to play this kind of match game, right? We've seen it. Danault's been matched up against him a lot, and he has. Him, McDavid. Let me just say it right. When you talk about Edmonton, you're basically talking about McDavid, and everything else is kind of secondary. And that's obviously what LA's plan has sort of been, and it's worked effectively enough. It's kind of just come down to who can make that last save, whether with all these overtimes, and really what the goaltending's been, right? The goaltending didn't really hold up in that last game, and Edmonton got this little explosion of goals and ran away with it, and the game was pretty much over throughout the third. And all the other games, they have been a bit closer, but they've still been pretty leaky in terms of goals going in, and it's because there's such an offense there. I mean, I commend the Kings for keeping up as much as they have with the scoring. I really, obviously, we can't see Kings in 6. I'm really not feeling good about the Kings winning the series. I think you give McDavid 2 shots at moving on, and that game 5, they look good, man. The team top to bottom looked good, and Skinner came back out and played pretty well, right? That's, I think, really all they need to do is their defensive sort of mindset has to be front of mind, and just let McDavid and Draisaitl kind of pop off where they do, right? And just have this kind of, we need to lock it down the rest of the time. And you can't play just super defensively, but you have to have that as like, okay, we're going offense, we're going off, so the puck goes the other way. We have to go twice as hard back defense, right? That's the time that it matters. This is where we get the chance to move on by making these plays, and that has to go through their heads every single shift, right? They can't take one off because the goaltending hasn't been perfect so far, and you don't want to have to rely on it at this point, right? Rely on it and control what you can throughout the rest of the team, and hope that your goaltending can keep, stepping up as much as they need to. Campbell played great in relief, but I don't think anybody was super excited or like, this is going to be the run now. Campbell's going to take it and run with it, right? Everyone was sort of like, what do you do game 5?
Yeah, exactly. That's at the end of the day, that's Edmonton's issue, right? Goaltending, right? Like, they brought Campbell in from Toronto thinking that, oh, we got one, right? Here is a bona fide 1A or one, starting goalie, right? And then, Stuart Skinner is like, hey, wait a minute, I'm here, right? And then, largely in part to Campbell with some poor performances, but I mean, you know what? Like, he's still a good goaltender. Like, they have 2 good goalies, but to win a cup and to make a deep run in the playoffs, you need a great goalie, right? Or at least a ridiculous team like Colorado last year, right? But I'm kind of with you on this one too. Like, I mean, I've been saying it already, 7. I still think it's going to be Edmonton in 7. I think LA is going to take game 6. Could be another overtime. Who knows? Within this series, it could be. So I mean, hey, that'd be great. But I mean, Edmonton's got to get it done, and they have to get it done. And it's not that McDavid isn't going to get it done. It's Edmonton's got to get it done because McDavid can. I say can only do so much, but I mean, hell, the guy can score freaking 6 goals a game if he really wants to. But we'll see how it goes. I'm definitely interested for sure. Now, this one, ooh, I kind of feel a little bit silly on this series, but you know what? Vegas is an excellent team. No doubt about that. No one was ever saying there wasn't. I never say they weren't either. Now, Alex had 5 for Vegas. I have 6, but I thought Winnipeg would have taken a couple games. Now, here's the thing: they still could, but Josh Morrissey being out, Nikolai Ehlers being out, and now I think Scheifele, if I'm pretty sure he's out too. Yeah, that's 3 of your best players. Sorry, but I think you're done at this point, provided a miracle. But it's looking like you're going to be right on this one, Alex. Vegas in 5. But that's not to say that Winnipeg hasn't showed up, right? That double OT game was so good. That game 3 was awesome. I had such a great time watching it. It was awesome. But I mean, Vegas is so good, right? Like I don't have much to say about it, right? Like they're so deep, right? There's not much you can do against a team like that, especially and for the unfortunate case of Winnipeg when you're missing 2 or 3 of your best players, right, Alex? So what do you think about it?
Yeah, it's really just a little too bad that we didn't get to see, best on best here in terms of what both teams could provide with their skill and their, available players. But that's what it is. You play with the guys you have. You got to go out there and win the games. So Vegas has done well in controlling, better part of the play in the last 3 games. They kind of got handled game 1. And at that point, it's like, okay, you don't want to overact after game 1. But Winnipeg looked pretty good there. And really, it's just been, a little car crash after, it's not been minor things. It's sort of what I was trying to get across here. It's not been minor things happening. Like it's not a fourth liner going down. You're right. They're missing their potential Norris,
Yep.
candidate defenseman. Like he's legitimately going to get votes and he deserves it. I don't know if he's top 3, but he's probably close to it, right? Maybe top 5. If not,
sure.
I'd put money on for sure he's top 10.
Yeah.
And Scheifele, Scheifele's gonna be out game 5. He's back game 6. But is there gonna be a game 6? We're gonna need to see some vintage prime Hellebuck, masterpiece performance. Which, hey, he's part of the team and he is capable of that. So you got a punter's chance. Go out there, give it your all. I'm gonna be cheering hard for Appleton and Lowry. Go out there and kick some butt, you snipers, you. And I still think Vegas is going to take it, but I want to see Canadian teams move on in the playoffs. So I'm secretly, on the side hoping Winnipeg does pull it off somehow. I like the underdog.
Yep, I always love the underdog. And shout out to Vlad Nemestikov, another Locker Token ambassador.
Mhm.
Go score some goals, buddy. Let's go Winnipeg. But I mean, you know what? We're being honest. It's looking like Vegas has a lock again because of all the reasons we just said. It's just an unfortunate break. It's an unfortunate break for Winnipeg. They'll come back. I don't think that Vegas has always been looked at, at least in my eyes and what I read at least, like they're looked at as like the team that's like on the line of, okay, do we blow this up or do we keep it going? I don't think they should blow this up. I think they should maybe try a little retool, if even, and just kind of give it a go, right? Like they still have an excellent team with, not to mention Hellebuck, who is, in my opinion, still a top 3 goalie in the league, and he's been playing like it. So I don't think they should give up on it, but we'll see what happens with that one too. Next series, we got Colorado and the Islanders. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not looking so good so far.
No, it's not. I'm surprised, right? And not because Carolina is not a good team. I just thought that their injuries would have limited them, right? I thought that, their history of goaltending would have limited them, right? Like, they're a great team. They're still very deep, but you're missing Svechnikov. And, okay, I know they didn't have Pacioretty for the entire year, but you're still missing Pacioretty, right? Like, that's a couple good pieces, right? Svechnikov is realistically, between him and Aho, your top point scorers. Right? Those are not guys you want to be missing. They're up 3-2 against the Islanders right now. I thought the Islanders would have. I mean, they're still playing well. Again, aside from game 3 and game 4, like, they've been tight games, right? Like, it's been going back and forth for the most part. But I mean, from what I've seen, Islanders are having a hard time shutting down that speed, right? That speed and scoring, it's tough to manage, right? I think the Islanders are having a tough time with it. But I mean, again, it's only 3-2. They could pull it back. So we'll see. I just want Bo to win. I love Bo. Bo Horvat, one of my favorite players in the league. Shout out, Bo. I love you. But I mean, it's again, I wouldn't be upset if Carolina won, because I love that team too, and I want them to go on a good run. But I'm just surprised that they're holding as well as they are. At the same time, I'm not surprised because they're still a great team. But I mean, I want to know what's going to happen. I'm okay with either team winning, but I thought the Islanders would have had this one. But I mean, hey, can't be right all the time, right? Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, man, it's kind of been surprising, especially after Tavo went down. Like that, that's another top 6 player, right? Like you said, Pacioretty is out for the season, so the team that we saw coming into the playoffs was kind of the same team. Less Svechnikov already because he went down a month earlier, and then to lose Tavo in the first round, like it's really commendable how they've played so far. Now, I still think there's a good chance that the Islanders do come back here. I think Sorokin gives you a chance to win every single game.
100%.
And that Islander team is going to be a tough out, man. They're the type of team that plays the kind of hockey that it's going to be tough to close them out and to end their season, right? They've got some gritty players. They're going to run you down every single chance they get because they're basically thinking in their head, I've got, what's the average amount of shifts you get in a game between like 20 and 30 for, a second, third liner, right? Like you're kind of clicking this in your head, like not, you don't want to overpressure. You put too much pressure on yourself in the moment, but man, this might be the last time we're playing hockey this season if we, don't pull this off. So guys are going to be finishing their checks. They're going to be putting pucks on net, right? I expect to see them hammer. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Ranta still, because I don't know that Freddie's back. Like he hasn't played. He's been kind of practicing skating, but he hasn't played yet.
Ranta's been the one. He's been the one.
And that sort of leaves like some more to be desired from Carolina. If they win, I don't think they're going to be the favorite in any series moving on, and neither do I really think the Islanders do. But the Islanders do play this sort of gritty type of playoff hockey that I don't love. I don't love that team, man. I'm not on board the same way you are. Bo Horvat, yeah, he's a great player. Matt Barzal, great player. I don't know. It sort of trails off from there. So I think I'd prefer to see Carolina finish it off. I'm still feeling kind of good about the Islanders to win this series, honestly.
Yeah, I love that shutdown game. As someone who had zero skill when they played, I love that shutdown. Use that body, boy. I love it. But could happen, could go out. It still very well could go either way in this series. So, well, another one we'll have to wait and see. But this series, Rangers and Devils. Wow, it's been fun. It's been another series. It's been all the series have been fantastic. Honestly, it's been very, very fun. But this one is, we had the same prediction for this one, and it's, again, could go either way, right? They've been fun to watch, right? It's a lot of speed. As I just said, something I don't have, but I'd love to watch it. That's for, those who can't watch with enjoyment, right? But like, oh man, like, I just want to throw it out there. Jack Hughes, something's in your water or milk or something when you were growing up, because you know what? All the Hughes brothers, for that matter, they're pretty good. They know what they're doing. That's for damn sure. For me, he is one of the stars of this league, and I don't want to see he carries the the Devils, but I mean, they got to be reeling off him for sure. You watch that kid skate around, and it's like, holy jumping, man, you're so good. So like he's a pleasure to watch. Like, he really, really is. But the thing with the Rangers is they have so much experience, right? Playoff experience. Add Patty King to that team, and you add Tarasenko to that team, and they're looking different, right? And I think that they still do edge them out. I think they win the next 2 games. Could go to 7 still. I'm sticking to my guns on the Rangers for this one, but I mean, I would not be surprised if the Devils pulled this off and potentially even win the next 2, right? Like that would be not even a surprise for me at this point, because like I've always been one of those guys where, at the beginning of the year too, I look at the Devils and I'm like, It's smoke and mirrors, man. Like they're a good team, but are they really there? Oh, I've been proven wrong. Oh, I've been proven wrong very heavily. So they could very well go on a very long run here. If they do end up taking the Rangers, we'll see what happens in the next round or two. But for me, it's still the Rangers. Like I said in our preview episode, like I still think that experience is going to edge them out, especially in game. If when it gets to 6 and 7, if it gets to 7, when it gets to those later round games, those guys have been there. They know what they're doing, and I think that's going to be the big difference maker. Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to relate it back to. This series to me is sort of the perfect recall back to the Leafs versus Washington in one of their first sort of playoff foray with this group. Right, they have that young flying offense that's high skilled, but and everyone's sort of like, wow, they really turned the corner this year. They really turned the page, and the team took a step right in the regular season. They had that huge win streak, and I was sort of on board with the same kind of thought. Like, is this team really this good? Is Jesper Bratt this good? Like, is he about to be an $8 million player?
Yeah,
he might be, right? 2 years ago, he was. I didn't look at him as a multi-million-dollar player, and he might be getting a lot closer to double digits than I ever fathomed. I could see it really playing out the same kind of way as that 2018 series did, where the Rangers still take the next two and sort of wrap this up. I think it'll be close games. I've loved Akira Schmid coming in and really being this sort of difference maker with the Devils. And if you sort of, if the Devils do have any kind of run, really comes back to like that Cam Ward run when he came in for the Hurricanes back in 06 there. This series is kind of hitting me in all the different nostalgia points, right? As I'm thinking back to all these different things, and yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. Been a lot of fast hockey, and I've been kind of surprised the last two games how much the Rangers were contained, and I think they're gonna come out just flying. Right, Zibanejad, he hasn't really done a whole lot. Kreider came out great in the first two games, and then has been quiet for 2 games now, right? Lafreniere, when's he going to sort of make a bit of a statement, right? He's got the skill, he does. And there is enough skill up and down the lineup that this sort of goaltending duel of Akira Schmid and Igor Shesterkin is I think going to be the tale, right? If these scores here, the losing team all had 1 goal, so I guess it's kind of a race to 2. I don't know, maybe live bet. If a team gets to 2, hammer the live bet, right? Because apparently it's a lock this year. I don't know.
I didn't even think about that, actually. That's a good point. Hit a bet locker, check it out, But, yeah, I mean, this Akira Schmid, oh, my golly, he is so good. Right, what is he, 22, 23? Like, he's still young, right? Like, in the sorry, what?
He was in the USHL like 2 seasons ago.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like he has come up out of nowhere, right? Nowhere, right? Like, and then I know it was a small sample size during the season, but like, look at his games, crazy numbers, like very, very, very good numbers. Right now, okay, the Devils have been a very good team this year, but I mean, that's got to be largely in part to his play, right? Players are going to play well if you have a strong goaltender behind you, plain and simple, right? Like, I'm loving what this kid does. I'm hoping that he can stick, and I know Vanchek, he's been okay, but I mean, Schmidt's been taking that net. Good on him. I'm super happy for him. I love seeing a good story like that. I hope that if they do make a long run, he's looked at as a big reason why. You kind of have to, right? But I still think Rangers in 6. I don't want to sound like that, but I mean, you know what? I'm hoping, I'm pulling on both teams, of course, but the Devils would be that nice little story. But I mean, I just feel like the Rangers, man, they have that experience, and it's going to edge them out. And I think it's going to be tight. But I mean, hey, anything can happen. All right, let's get to Leafs in Tampa. Again, I said this before. I'm a large person. My heart can't take it. My heart can't take it. It can't. It's that game 3. I was sitting watching the game, and I thought that was it for me. It was a minute left or so, not too long left into the second OT break, and I'm sitting there watching the game, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, if this goes to that OT break, I'm not going to make it. That's going to be the end of me. It's going to be done. 1 episode for the LKT sports show. 1 and done, because Ben's dead. So, I wasn't going to make it. So, this has been such a crazy series, right? And not just because, Leaf fan or anything. This is the series that everybody is talking about in the hockey world. Now, let's be honest. Okay, Toronto is the epicenter of the hockey world, realistically, right? And for sometimes for worse, but a lot of times for good, right? That first game, let's be honest, was bad. Toronto played very poorly. All in all, you can blame whatever you want, but at the end of the day, defense and everything just was super stinky, like for the Leafs. Game 2, right back at you. It was right back. Toronto came out screaming. Now, Game 3 and Game 4 for me was weird, right? They're both OT. Again, how I'm still alive today, I don't know, because I'm watching, especially, Game 3 more, period 3, 2 and 3, they were. This was what I was looking at. I was watching with my buddies, and they're like, "Oh man, like Toronto's playing like shit, blah blah blah. Like, what are they doing?" And I'm like, "Well, they're playing conservative, like way too conservative. They're afraid that if they bench or pull up too hard, Tampa's going to burn them, which isn't necessarily a bad idea, but it's like driving. You drive too safe, and you're going to end up hurting, right? Like you have to at least commit." And they pulled it off, which was dandy. But Game 4. Alex, I'll let you take this one.
Man, Game 4 was an absolute roller coaster. You talk about what's going to happen, right? I was watching with my son. It was his birthday. We had a big party upstairs. And I was like, man, we're going to stay up late. We're going to watch this. And for the first, what was that, 50-ish, 51 minutes?
Yep.
That it was uninspiring, right? It looked absolutely like a team that was happy with the split. We're going to go back home tied 2-2. We came to your barn. We took the first game, even though they didn't play a great game in that game either, right? This very easily could have been a 3-1 Tampa series. We had the back and forth sort of smack fest in game 1, 2. I'll show you mine, you show me yours, and we saw some really good shooting, some scoring from the teams, but we didn't see a lot of defense, and we didn't see a lot of great goaltending, which goaltending has kind of been this. Tampa's such a strong team, and then they also have legitimately the best goalie in the league, or at least the top 3, whatever. Absolutely. Right? That's what's made them this completely dominant team, and that hasn't been there, right? He hasn't been there for 60 minutes for them, right? The team played a solid 51 minutes in both game 3 and 4. And if you shut it off at that point, you would have thought Tampa's sailing through this. They're great, except it's a full 60, man. You got to finish it. And credit to the Leafs. They've pulled off these comebacks, and it's, it was 4-1. Now the Leafs have a feel good moment to that. Obviously this is the moment. It just happened on Monday, right? It's, we haven't even had the next game yet. So we're living on that at this point, but it feels like, some of those playoff demons were getting the monkey off the back a little. Come on, you're telling me in round 1 against a team that took us out last year, we just came back from 4-1, and this team's going to lose 3 straight at this point? I don't see it, right? We have the chance for our Leafs in 5 to be right. I think the boys are going to come out. They're going to come out in 5.
Don't bring it up.
But that's with how they've ended up pulling off those games. It's feeling like this is a time, right? This is the time that Tampa. I think Tampa's going to come out hard in the first period. If the Leafs can weather that and counter it, right, and show up and have their own sort of derivative, their own drive to the play, to the action, getting shots on net, right? They've been talking about all these point shots. Well, let's see it. Let's hammer some more on and see where they end up, right? We've seen lots of deflections this series, so I think we're gonna see it in 5, man. I'm really feeling good heading into game 5 here that the boys are gonna come back home and really show up.
I think so too. I really do. I think now the blood's in the water. You know what I mean? It's like, they've been in this position before, and knock on wood, man, but but I don't even want to talk about it. But I think this feels different, right? Like they know the guys that they brought in, and and the whole team at this point knows that this is it, right? Like we're talking like it's a bloody cup. Like we're talking winning a round at this point. Like they're like, this is what it's come to. But I think they will take it next game. If they don't, 6 for sure. I think there is no chance that this series is going to 7. I think just the way that, like, okay, let's be honest. Toronto's playing well. So is Tampa. But I mean, there's some games where, like, kind of like you said, right? Like, Vasilevsky hasn't showed up. A lot of the team hasn't showed up, right? Like, penalties or officiating in this series, I don't want to call out. It's been less than good. That's for certain. So, like, again, that's not an excuse, but it's been like that on both sides. So I mean, I guess it's even, blah blah, whatever. But I can't see them, and I'm being completely unbiased here. I just can't see Toronto losing the next game or two. Right? Maybe they lose 5. Tampa comes out pissed or something. But like the way I've been noticing this team, the Tampa, as referring to Tampa here, they get pissed and they make dumb mistakes, right? That's what happened to them in game 2, right? Like, I don't want to say they embarrassed themselves, but like they didn't lose because they played poorly. They lost because they got pissed and made dumb decisions, right? That's just how I saw it, right? And Toronto capitalized on those advantages, right? You can say the same thing with game 1 where Toronto just played like crap and Tampa took advantage. Same kind of thing, right? But I don't know, like Tampa just doesn't look like that lethal team anymore. Or maybe it's just Toronto is looking a little bit better. It's probably a bit of both, but I mean the main topic of conversation for the Leaf, I mean, mainly the Leaf fans, but honestly, it's just a great thought in general. So Mr. Bunting is back. Now, Sheldon Keefe has said, no, he isn't. And I find that surprising, but I also don't, right? Because you look at the way Matthew Nyes has been playing. Oh, he's been nice. Very nice, but I saw some sign with like Borat or whatever. It says very nice. And I'm like, that's a smart person right there. That's witty. I like that. But I mean, the kid's been playing so well. He is very good, right? And usually playoff pressure like that, especially as a rookie, right? The guy was in a bloody college dorm 2 weeks ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy, right? Like, so like for him to come in and not get crushed by the pressure of the playoffs, especially playing in Toronto, that's something, right? Now, I don't know why they're not playing Bunting. Now, I know it's like, okay, you can look at the thing, and, well, it's working, so why change? But, I mean, personally, like, I know a lot of people don't want to break up that 4th line, but I would maybe just kind of pluck Aston Reese out, right? Like, I do love Aston Reese. He's playing a great game, but, I mean, like, Bunting's still a very skilled player. Very skilled. Now, I don't know what – obviously, he's already said that for the next game, Bunting's not playing, but Alex, what do you think? Do you think they should play him or not?
No, I'm fully on board with run the team back the way it is. We've had 3 games in a row here, 3 wins. Now they haven't been the prettiest wins, but they've been a wins, right? They don't ask how, they ask how many, and right now we're at 3-1. And the 4th one's the hardest to get. I think you use Bunting as the spark plug for game 6 if there's a game 6, right? You bring him back in, maybe shuffle Nyes back that 3rd line with O'Reilly, you bring Bunting back to the top 6. I'm more on don't break up the 4th line because I think it is just such a good line, and I don't think that what Bunting brings in difference of potential skill addition is worth the honest just feeling of the potential risk out there, right? Like I don't think he's gonna go and elbow a guy in the head again or shoulder a guy in the head, whatever. I don't think he's gonna have a suspendable play. But I do worry about him after the whistle and scrums. I don't think he's going to have, if nothing else, he's not having the refs on his side looking to call one in his favor,
God,
right?
no. Yeah,
right. So
not.
I don't like to me, he's not enough of an X factor that you have to get him back into the lineup. The boys just won 3 straight, run it back for the 4th one. If they don't win it, that's not ideal, but you still got another shot at it. Bring Bunting back for 6, shuffle the lines up again and run it out and see what you got. So no, this was the exact sort of decision that I think was needed and is good, right? Bunting came out with a couple quotes today. He said he was talking to Muzzin a bunch. He's sort of been his rock to lean on. Good to see Jake still around the team and providing that kind of mentorship, right? Guidance kind of role and just being like, dude, you're going to get your chance again, right? We know that this series has at least 3 more if the Leafs aren't going to win it. So you're going to get your chance again, right? They're not going to sit him for every single game. They would shake the lineup. And he is a skilled player. But You won 3 in a row. It's the playoffs. If you wore the same underwear those 3 games, I wouldn't change that either. That's the hockey player mentality, right?
I did.
We were raised. We were raised on that kind of stuff, though, right? Like,
yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I'm in the same thing, right? Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I mean, to throw a guy in like that, it wouldn't hurt. But I mean, you know what? They do have. Okay, obviously, you can't take this with too much comfort. But I mean, three games to 1, right? You can kind of have your okay. Let's run it back, and if it doesn't work, then we'll fix it, right? So I'm stoked to say the least. This would be great if they can pull this off. But I mean, Tampa's still Tampa, so knock on wood. But I mean, it's still going to be a very entertaining series. As much as I hate that I'm saying this, I don't think this is a lock right now for the Leafs. I truly don't. So I hope I don't eat my words on that one. I'm going to be a very upset person in the next episode or two, if whatever. But I still think they got it. The Leafs, I think they still have it, but it's not counter chickens yet. So perfect timing because the Florida Panthers just won. How about that? So as of right now, it is actually 3-2. Quick update on the fly. Let's go. But I mean, hey, like said it before, Florida's still a good team, right? The final score was 4-3 in overtime, right? Close overtime game, yes, but wouldn't it be hilarious if Florida won? I think it'd be pretty funny. Not saying that because Florida's a bad team, but it's just Boston is just this King Kong Bundy powerhouse, right? Like just such a great team. And now, do I think Florida will come back? Personally, no. But wouldn't it be funny? I mean, like it'd be something. Alex, wouldn't it be funny?
oh man, that would be hilarious. I mean, as a Leafs fan and the people that sort of called the Bruins to not have a great season, I'd feel a little bit better that I can stop eating my words on that. I'm full, man. I'm sick of it. I've had this meal all dang year. It's been annoying. Yeah. But it's been an interesting series because game 1 was kind of what I thought it would be. Boston really just looked in control. Not really too much to see here. Wasn't a lot of flash, razzle dazzle. Bergeron was missing still, and they played their all-around game, wrapped it up, and let's go home. Now game 2, Florida came out and they looked good, man. They were flying. They got on the score sheet quick, and they didn't really let up, right? And at that point, after the game, there's already, I think the reports came out pretty quick. Maybe it's the next morning still, but Bergeron's not even going to travel, right? He's not even going to Florida. So it's like, okay, he's not playing until game 5 at earliest. Mm-hmm. Like Florida might have a chance here to sort of do something with this, and then Boston goes down to Florida and just sort of cleans up business and wins 2 games there.
Oh, you thought.
Right? Tack on another 10 goals. Yeah. I thought they were going to finish it tonight. They have looked so in control throughout much of the 3 out of 4 games. But credit to Florida. They are a gritty enough team, right? The style play, the Kachuk, the Reinhardt, the Bennetts, right? They're all skill, but a bit of grit, right? The bit of playoff type players in them. So I would love to see Florida come back and take it because that means we're going to see 2 great games of hockey because Boston's not going to make it easy for them. Oh, no. I don't think that's what's going to happen. It would just be nice to see. I think Boston will still take it the next game, and if they don't somehow, I would still think they're going to take it game 7. I think they are the better team. So I think they'll win eventually here. And I expect it, right? There's no way that the Leafs win this and Boston loses round 1. There's no way that happens. That just
poetic.
No, I don't believe that multiverse exists.
No. But imagine this. We both at the beginning of the year called Boston to blow it. And then we both called Boston to sweep. Now imagine. Could you imagine? I don't think there's a multiverse or whatever realm where that happens either. But Florida's, they're not just lying down and taking it, right? Like they're kind of fighting. So I want to see. I really would like to see Florida, and I'm not just saying because Boston, whatever, but like I like Florida. I don't mind Boston. You got to credit how ridiculously good of a season they had. you gotta love that, no doubt about that. But I mean, like, it'd be the miracle story of a lifetime if Florida pulled this off. And then, so I love to pull for the underdog, always. Like, I'm a Leaf fan at the end of the day, so I mean, hey, whatever. But but wouldn't that be crazy? So I mean, do I think Florida will do it again? No, but I think Boston has the next game. But we'll see. We're definitely gonna have to see. So that wraps up for today's episode. So we'll be back with the next one, and I think most of the series should be done by then. But I mean, hey, we'll see if we're right. Again, a few of them we're already wrong on, but that's okay. Again, can't be right. Can't be right all the time. Come on, what are you gonna do? So again, check out Locker Token. Always links in bio. Check our socials. All the fun stuff. We got everything you can think of under the sun. So check it out. Thank you as always, Alex. Awesome episode. Super fun. And we'll be back with another one. Thanks, everyone.